Hi guys, and welcome to another episode of the conversation between the two of us. Today is actually a very nice day, very sunny where we are. But yeah, welcome guys, welcome to another episode of the conversation between the two of us with myself, Magungu Baloyi, and today I have a special guest, my person, my friend, my best friend. So today is a conversation between two friends, two lovers and friends. So yeah, and also lovers and friends, please go and like, comment, share, subscribe, comment down below. And guys, subscriptions are free. My dad was telling me the other day that people were asking him how much they need to pay to subscribe. Yeah, but it's free guys, so subscribe and click the notification bell for a new video. As I mentioned last week, we drop every second week of the month, 2 videos a month. And you're welcome. Hope you enjoyed today's conversation between two friends, two lovers, and yeah, so to get right into it, maybe let's introduce people to my channel, who you are, our friendship, where we met also, because I think that will frame the conversation, because today we're talking about friendships, right? And how much we need to invest work in making, how much work friendships are, and yeah, it requires a lot of work, and how much we need to invest in making sure that our friendships work. And our friendships has gone through different challenges. We've gone through different seasons. And somehow we're still friends. And I think maintaining friendships in adulthood is hard. It's difficult. Yeah, it's a lot of work, and I think I really appreciate that we are still friends. We making it even as adult friends, navigating different adult challenges, but our friendship somehow still survives through it all. So I think, that's the conversation we're gonna have, because I really believe in friendships, guys. And I've been seeing a lot of talk on social media streets, how people say they don't have. I feel like, maybe it's my judgment, but I feel like people don't give friendships the same grace they give in daughter. And guys, please invest in friendship. And I know that, so I'm gonna talk about it a bit more later, that obviously there's an element of investing. You can't be the only person pouring into the friendship, right? So that it needs to be a bit reciprocated, it needs to come back. But we need to put in the work. We do. Maybe let's backtrack. This is Mary, guys. Hi guys. Mary Maduleke. Yes, the one and only. The one and only, my P, my bestie. Best friend. But how did we meet? I don't remember how we met.
I remember how you met.
Really? Yes. I actually do not remember how we met.
I still remember how we met.
Please tell me how we met.
It was at Rhodes. 2014.
Okay.
2013.
Okay.
Yeah. What? No. It was beginning of year 2014. Okay. I was moving from Prince Alfred.
Yes,
race,
I remember that.
And I was moving to Amina Kachari.
The best race in the world.
I mean, I'm not sure, but
it was my race.
Yeah. So I was moving to Amina Kacharia, and then you were in house committee at the time.
Yes, I was.
So the moment I walked into the doors, she welcomed me.
Really?
Yes, bro, you don't know.
I don't remember.
You welcomed me in, and you had your afro, like you looked so bright, so lively. And then I was so shy. I was so shy with my mini bag. With my mini bags. And then you welcomed me. You're like, I'll show you around. You took me around. You took me to my room. And then when it came time for food, you came to my room. You called me to come have
supper.
Was it lunch or supper? I'm not sure. I think it could have been supper. I think the first one was supper. I'm not sure if I came with you guys the same day or the next day. Okay. But in both accounts, you came to my room to call me for supper, because obviously I had just moved in, and you were so kind. And I was like, oh my gosh, this lady is calling me to her friendship group. And I was so uncomfortable.
And they were not my friend. They were not my friend.
No, they were your friend. Who? Was Bosch and Butle.
Oh yes, they were the gang. Oh, okay. I remember I used to call, because I was in house com, And it was my duty to always, like, and I really loved being house girl, and I did it with so much pride.
And you're just kind and shit.
Yeah.
Accommodative. Yeah.
Yeah, but I used to knock even on other people's doors. Like first years, remember even the group Yabo Akona and then the lower group,
actually.
They were like younger kids, but I would like maybe dedicate 2 days in a week to go to supper with them because they were not used to like the dining
that's
hall.
So true.
Yeah, so like they were not my friends. So like people used to think I had big groups of friends, but they're not my friends because I was just trying to make people a bit comfortable, and get them to understand the race life and go to the dining hall a bit more. So that's how we met.
That's how we met.
Really?
That's how we met.
Aww.
Actually, even in my phone, my note under your contact is this is my person we met in 2014. I have that whole account.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, that's so sweet.
That's how I knew that even in small little decisions, God is there. Because I was like, just a simple act of moving, like changing res, I got to meet my person.
That's true, and we've been friends since. And funny thing, that year I actually moved floors. So we were in the same floor. I remember we were in the third floor.
Yeah.
Yes, we're in the same floor. I remember we were 2 doors apart.
We were
one door apart.
Yeah.
By that lady who wore expensive shoes. She was the celebrity of the rest and the school.
She was well put together.
And
at that time,
these guys, it was funny, but yeah, I remember
Road's life is quite interesting.
Yeah, it's two extremes. In Roads, like there are people who
go all out,
and there are people who like
who just.
So that's how we met. Oh, okay. And then that means we've been friends for how long now? 2014 to now. 9 years. Let's have a 10-year anniversary.
Yes. We're doing something next year.
That means I've known you my whole of my 20s. You carried me through my 20s because next year I'll be turning 30. And if it's 9 years, that means
we met when you were 20.
When we were 20 and we've been friends. That means you know all
That's so special.
It is. Yeah. That means we know each other's
I mean, we do really.
Yeah, we really do. But yeah, so that's how we met. And then from there on, we became good friends. But I think the first thing that we're going to talk about is how do we accommodate each other, right? Because you had a friend, you're a people's person even though you were shy.
Yeah.
And you had a lot of groups, right? So because you were coming from Prince Alfred Reyes, you had a friendship circle from down campus. And we had our own community up the hill. Yes. We're like a special group of people up the hill. But also you were very involved in like soup kitchens. So you had people used to do that with SEO group, community engagement, SEO group,
extended studies group with a small class.
Yeah, so you had a lot of friends, right?
Sure.
And sometimes I think for me it took me long to see you as my close friend.
Okay. I can imagine that.
Yes, it took me long, probably till maybe 2016 or 17.
Friend, it can't be that long.
Friend, you know what? I always knew like I was your friend, but I didn't know that like you were like my friend and like my person.
Okay.
Because I felt like I shared you with so many groups.
I understand.
And as someone who struggled sharing, I struggled sharing, right? When I love someone, I'm very protective and I don't like sharing. I really don't. And you had so many people I had to share you with.
Yo, absolutely.
So it took me a long time. But did you think I was your close friend?
So I knew you were my friend by the end of that year.
Really?
I knew you were in close proximity.
Really?
And I think especially because of the conversations we would have in our rooms. Like we were conversation driven.
We were.
Since the beginning. Like we would talk about anything and everything. And I think that connection we had, although I had many connections, was different in itself. So I think that really set apart the idea of the type of friendship that we had. There are many things that I would be able to be vulnerable with you about that I wouldn't necessarily be comfortable with other people. Maybe because even the platform to have that conversation wasn't there. I mean, maybe it was, but we're just not tapping into it that deeply. But I think on my 21st birthday,
I remember at Red. What was it? Red and Parrot?
No, it was at
that expensive. But yes, I remember.
Yeah,
Gramson has very small, expensive restaurants.
Yes,
but I remember the brown wooden one. What's it called?
I don't remember.
We're wearing all black though.
We're black and white,
and you're wearing green shoes because it was your favorite color. It's still your favorite color.
So it comes down to that, right? So you bought me a green watch.
Really?
Yes, and when you gave it to me,
I remember the one now.
Yes,
I
when you
remember
gave it to me, you paid attention to how green was my favorite color. And I was like, this girl is attentive. And I think from there it just went up. But when I knew that you were really, really like my person, I think it was 2015 when I moved to Aquitaine Way. You were the first to come and be with me that year because I think you were coming for Housecom.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you arrived at my place first before you moved into Race and we had time together. Yeah, and just how, and you washed my feet. But do you remember you washed my feet? Yes, you washed my feet. Just like small little like special moments that made me, but I think more than anything, how my heart felt when we were together. Even to this point, like I know because my heart is just at peace and at rest when we're together.
I think that's true because it took me a while, right? But like looking back on what you're saying, I think even though you had other groups of friends and I had other groups of friends, I still felt like we shared a different connection. Yeah. Right? Like the type of conversations we would have together. Like I remember sometimes we'd sleep in your room and I'll never go to my room because it was a door away, right? Yeah. And you had the most expensive teas. You had Twinings. I'm like, this child has
always been a tea person,
actually. I'm like, why are you buying such expensive Fresh Pack also had a watermelon version. But you chose to go buy Twinings.
No levels.
You had levels. So I used to like your tea and you do my hair so much. Like you braid my hair. And so I think for me, even though I'm saying it took me a while to see you as my person, but you created an environment where I was very comfortable and I felt very safe. Yeah. And I think that's important in friendships. Yeah. But I really sometimes was jealous of your other circles, to be honest.
You know, I became jealous when you developed another circle.
But how did you navigate the jealousy? Because I think it's important to be honest, right? Yeah. Because I was jealous with particular groups of your friends, right? Especially when you moved to Diggs' life.
Yeah,
Diggs was a difficult time for me because we're like, she's moving into Diggs. And then we didn't study the same thing. Yeah. And my whole life friend could be lived upper campus. Yeah. My department was upper campus. I lived upper
Mine was all of it
down campus. So it's nothing of we would never bump into each other.
Sure, actually. We had to be intentional.
And I think for me that's like where I think it's important, the intentionality in friendship, because it started there. When you moved out, Germany stayed there for a year, then you moved out. Yeah. But we're living two different lives. You were in a different type of career, like a faculty. I was in a different one. But sometimes I would feel jealous, and I'm like, does she love me? Yeah. And then I think, you know what I did? I actually sometimes used to overcompensate by being so busy with my other friends to fill that void, instead of going out and working and saying, "Friend, let's meet up for lunch." So that's how I dealt with the jealousy, because I think I didn't tell you that I felt jealous, but then I would overcompensate with my other friends, and I'll now start going out more with them and doing things with them just so that I feel like I'm also needed in some form of way. Because I think even in friendship we do have the desire to be wanted and
pursued. Similar. I think with me, because I had so many things pulling me in different directions, right? I would be attentive to that when I'm alone, or when I'm spending time with someone and it's feeling a lot more depleting than it is fulfilling. And I would know that there's a space and a person I know, I would hardly ever feel these feelings, because even other friendships had their own dynamics and complexities, right? And I remember there are moments where at a particular time when I was housing a particular friend, and that would be very, very difficult, I would run to you. Like I would even...
But also, I feel like for me, you know that jealousy, right? So it moved from negative jealousy, where I was jealous of your friends in terms of, friends not spending time with me. Yeah. And I quickly learned your personality and your character. And because I cared for you, then my jealousy was like, protective. Yes. Then I became very protective, because like you're saying, with that particular friend, and like friend, you and I are so built differently. Me, I'm like cut off and move on. Like
find Caesars.
Yeah, like if you don't have, give me, I'll find a knife, I'll chop it for you. Yeah. Like, and you are the opposite. Like you have you extend grace even when there's no need. I just feel like there was no need to extend such grace because you, like you're saying, it was depleting you. So like I was jealous, but then my jealousy then started seeing that I'm jealous of something that's actually not good for her.
Yeah. Which is protection.
Yeah, so then it became a protection thing that I was very much wanting to protect you in the situation you were in. How do we then learn each other's characters to be able to be there for one another without judging and easily getting tired? Because I could be tired of you saying, you're coming to cry about friends. There was one particular friend. Friend, you cried about her even when I left Grahamstown. You were crying about her. Yes. That friendship literally broke you, and I hated how I could see how it was breaking you. But I didn't understand how
I was still there.
And how friendships could break you so much. To me, it's that thing in friendships where we need to quickly learn our friends' characters, but also be firm enough to pull each other out. And I think you hated me for the longest time. I don't know if you hated me, but I was that person who was so quick in our friendship to say, let them go, leave. You are the person who dwells and wants to stay. And I'm like, let's pull out. Let's on to the next.
I mean, I want to believe that my main issue, right, is that I am more to believe that whatever a person does is not their true intention. Friend, if you think about how they unfolded, that is exactly a starting point.
It is, but I also believe in what Oprah says, that when people show you who they are,
believe them.
And believe them the first time around.
They show you, not me.
And that's the thing. And I'm the opposite. I think sometimes in friendships, to be honest, we need to build each other like that. Teach each other what's in the cons of, in this case, believing people for who they are. And somebody say, friend, she's not a good person, leave her alone.
Yeah. And I think that's what also our friendship has taught us, in what you're saying about learning each other, is about accepting each other, but also challenging certain things about ourselves that are like, girl, like that one you need to check, you know, and having that frame to do that. Because in as much as I was naive and very like positive about people and very forgiving, like you will do one thing 20 times and I will still be like, it's not your true intention, you know. But you were able to bring me to a place of, be mindful of how this action makes you feel. As much as you think it's not this person's intentions, the fact is that they're doing it, and the fact is it's hurting you in this way. So I think that has been good in raising awareness to say, this is what you have, but this is how it can be misused. This is how it can be good and bad for you. You know, and even the same way I can
for me
that,
because I'm very quick to leave. Like, quick to leave. If there's a person who's quick to leave, is me. In friendships, in joy, and I think it has actually helped me in terms of relationships with boyfriends, because I'm quick to leave, and you know this. Like, I don't forgive. Like, I don't give people grace for long. But I've given you so much grace for 9 years.
Like,
but I don't give people grace for so long. Like, if you act in a funny way, like, I would leave. And I think it's my toxic trait. Like, it's good and bad, but I think you've shown me the bad side of it, and I had to be called out and learn and say some things require a bit more grace.
We've been two extremes in that way. And by being extremes, we've been able to bring each other to the middle, to say this is where it needs to be. This is how we can correct that, but also maintain who we are, but be mindful of how it can work against, and then be able to improve on that.
But then, you know, about this thing of giving grace, right? In friendships, what is the middle point of giving grace? You know how people say, yo, I'm going through a lot as a friend, I want to be in my corner. And then you expect your friend to be there, your friends to be there for you, but you, in difficult season, you are shying away. You're not letting them in. And then when they leave, you either get tired because you like, but you're my friend, you must stay. But the friend said, give me space. What is the middle ground? How do we navigate that? We've gone through that a lot. In different seasons. How do we navigate it?
It's friend.
Because you know, for me, I think the challenge is in friendships, people say friends must give each other grace, you know, we must be there for one another. And then there's another school of thought that says But if you sideline me during your difficult times, you can't expect me. So people are saying, okay, get your space, give yourself the time, but you can't expect me to be still around when you are ready.
When you are ready
to come out of your cocoon or from your whatever. Talk about it in two ways.
Okay.
You've experienced grief.
Yeah.
You've lost Papa in 2021. And that was a difficult time, even
very
for our
difficult.
friendship.
Yo.
And very difficult for our friendship. But I think at the same time it brought us closer.
Yeah.
But it was very difficult for our friendship. Supporting a grieving friend, guys, it's hard. And also knowing how to be a grieving friend is also hard.
Yes.
So it's two sides.
It's two sides.
So it's harder for me to support.
Yeah.
And it's also harder for you
to be.
Yeah. Because you don't know. I also don't know. And it's a touchy thing. I mean, we're recording this. It's my dad's birthday today. You had me talk about Papa. You talk about my dad. We still talk about it.
Yeah.
But we also talk about Papa as well and things like that. So I'm just like, what do you think for you? What is the method, or what is the solution? What's the midpoint of to navigate season? Because you taken time away, so you left social media, you took time away, and not even just then. Like even Graveson, there were seasons where we both experienced depression from different things and would isolate. I remember my seasons where I also isolated a lot.
Yeah.
But is it fair to expect other to be there after an isolation?
I think first and foremost, you can only this conversation and how we've been able to manage it can only happen because of our heart for each other. I think that's the primary thing.
Okay.
Because your heart for me in the times where I'm grieving or I'm going through whatever is the one that's gonna speak to you to linger longer, right? Because you know me outside of that season. Yeah. And you know my heart, and you know the intent of my heart, that even though I'm grieving, I'm being dismissive, I'm being very distant, but you know that at the very core, I have value for you. Like I value
you have good intentions for me as well.
Yes. And even though I won't be able to bring you in all the time, somehow you just found ways to allow me to be, and there'll be moments where we are speaking and a conversation, like a casual conversation, will end up being about my dad and and the death and how and how I'm so sad, how I'm so frustrated, but that gave me opportunity to speak because I wasn't going through therapy. I wanted to be strong for my family and things like that, but you became a space for me to process. Sometimes we'd be speaking and I'll even get to emotions and thoughts I didn't know were there, you know. But then if I'm at your place for a week and now this is day 3, there's still a conversation about my dad, I also then feel like, am I not overburdening you? Because now it's day 3 of my tears, you know.
I actually have never felt it like that.
Yeah, and I knew you never. But I felt like, does it? So the thought comes, but because I know your heart and intent, and I trust that. So like the Bible says, there's no fear in perfect love. Yeah. So because there's
we have a perfect love.
Yes, we do, Faye. So because there's such a great foundation of love, I can trust that. I don't care. Even if I overburden you in this moment, I know your love will choose me over that feeling because this feeling will not exist forever.
And I also pushed myself.
Yeah.
Right? So I think in those seasons, right, when people say they're taking time away, sometimes they're saying that they don't want people, not because they don't want people. They are scared that they don't know if they'll be received in their broken state. Yeah. So it's not their true intention. It's a lie or a facade of them saying, I'm taking time away, I want my own space. They want you there.
We really don't.
And me, I would kick doors and enter those spaces. Like even when like friendship is like hard and it's going through difficult season, you kick doors by doing things differently. Like for me, I feel like if you say you don't want me to be there, what do you mean? Right? If you say you want space, what do you mean? So for example, during the week of preparations, you don't want emotional me. You don't want an emotional friend, right?
Yes.
So you want a friend that will come.
You're very good with those things, actually.
And like, I think it's in the, you know how with the love languages. So it's similar to that. So that you don't want a friend who's just, friend, how are you feeling? Like there's no time, because in my mind, like, she's running around. Yeah. The only way I can kick the door to force myself in a space, let me drive down, what can I do physically? How can I be around? Obviously there was restricted circumstances due to COVID and stuff, but I'm just like, so I think in friendships, navigating, sometimes I feel like we're not creative enough, and we use that as an excuse to say they said the one space, because we don't want to do the work of loving people in love languages that you've never used before in the relationship.
Yes, and embracing that difference. And I think in addition to love and that, primarily, if we're not authentic in our relationship, right, where if you're not authentic, you are protective of yourself, which is a natural human trait, because you don't want to be taken for granted. You don't want to feel like you are overgiving. You don't want to feel like you're overextending yourself with the one pouring and pouring. But something about being authentic relaxes you, even as you give. So even as you are trying to find different ways to support your grieving friend, you do one of two things. You authentically go with what you feel in your intuition to say, okay, she says this, but I'm gonna do this. In this time, I feel like she needs this, I'm gonna do this. And not being so in your head about yourself more than about the next person, which I think is such a selfless act that is very difficult. Because in the same breath, if I, as the receiving friend, am not attentive to you, I could deplete you. And that is another conversation where people get to a point where they're like, no, I'm done because I've given.
And I think, for example, in that season, we were like, I didn't get depleted because we were creative around it, right? So even when you would come to my place, but we also did a getaway together.
Yeah, we did that.
That was also good for me because I didn't have a staycation. We're currently on staycation. We always do this thing of at least twice a year, like go away. Somewhere. We don't even have a network where we are, guys. Boyfriends are calling and almost doing the things. We don't have network where we are, but we take time to like check in, be with each other. And I think even that season, even though like the conversations like over like dinner, whatever, would be about that, but I also feel refreshed because I feel like you've also put in the effort of also taking me out of my day-to-day life, and I feel like you're also investing in catching up and seeing each other and being there for. So I think it's that balance that we can serve two needs at the same time. I can serve your need of wanting space and wanting a place to grieve and to share, but you can also serve my needs of wanting to get out of the city. We're in the bush.
As you say that, I'm thinking it's as simple as, now that we're staying here together, right? I know that you cook. I know you will cook. It's not great because I relax, but it's like,
guys, I cook everything, morning, lunch, dinner.
I'm such a spoiled girl, guys. So I know that you will cook, but after you've cooked, I
also know that you will do the dishes, and there's no
communication. Like, oh friend, but you have to. But it's just so seamless, and it's because we're both, as much as I'm receiving your delicious food,
you're also like serving me by washing the dishes, which because I also don't like assisting.
It's a great balance, because if while I'm receiving from you, I also give, then we synchronize each other in that way. It's gonna help our friendship.
Okay, differences.
I think our differences.
You're a yellow ball and I'm a darkie.
That. Besides,
that's a very technical difference.
Our differences is that our difference, I think, stems from our similarity, right?
Which is,
I think we are deep feelers, and thinkers.
It's both a curse and a blessing.
It's both, guys. I think you, in addition to that, are an action-based person. I'm not. And you fuss.
And I'm on your neck.
You're on my neck about it.
Yes.
Which is the good part, guys. Get a friend like MK.
Yes. Like,
I think, like we can sit and think about life, our desires, what we want, and strategize and end. But I think in the greater scheme of things, I still sit.
And think more.
And think about how I'm thinking more.
And I keep telling you, stop thinking. There's no need for thinking anymore. Like we've thought.
But I think our difference is that you are action-based. And I think,
but even you saying that, I still feel like I need to do more to be action-based. Like,
really,
because I'm a thinker. I overthink even my actions. I overthink there are things we've spoken about and things I've said, I've written, but I'm not doing that I want to do, right? But I think sometimes, because you're not a doer, you're a thinker, I become also comfortable.
Yeah.
Which is a negative thing.
It's negative.
Yes, because then I also like, oh, okay, I'm doing a little bit, because you will then applaud me in my little action.
Yeah, guys.
But that's not the full extent of what I would be doing,
potential.
of my potential.
Yes.
So that's the negative part of the relationship.
Absolutely.
It is negative. Yeah. And I think I've picked it up, and I think we are now more aware of it. So it's that thing of, friend, let's do. Because life is moving. We can't think and live in our heads so much.
Yeah.
But the positive thing is, you've taught me how to process feelings, which I was not a processor of feelings. Like, I think I was so quick to move from feelings. Friend, you would bring up one feeling 50 times and you would say, how do you feel? I'm like, do I still want to feel?
Hey, can we?
You know? Yeah. And I think in that, you learn awareness of self. Yeah. That in the next time something similar happens to you, you are different and you can approach the situation in a different light. Yeah. So I think that's one of the things that we're different in and that I've benefited in. And I think it's not because I'm not a feeler. I am a feeler a lot, but as a self-protective measure, I don't want to dwell on my feelings because I feel like it's a lot.
Which is positive. I mean, it has taught you to feel more in certain instances, but it has taught me to not feel more than a certain
balance.
The balance. Because sometimes you can feel and spiral in the feeling, but you have to feel. I don't believe in not feeling.
You don't. You are the feeler, my friend.
Like, you need to feel, you need to process, you need to think. But
I'm thinking about today's morning conversation.
Yeah.
And how that, like, I can't say what the conversation was about. But that conversation, it was like, why are we talking about feelings?
Because it's not a feeling based.
Yeah, it's an action thing. Why are we talking about our feelings?
Like, yeah, but it has taught me then to feel, but to not dwell in the feeling, because if we're being honest, to a great extent, feelings are disempowering.
Yeah.
To a great extent, because especially if they are negative.
Yes.
You can be propelled into action by positive feelings. Even negative can, but depending on the context
that we have is how we value people.
Okay.
You value people so much than I do. Guys, I love people, man. I really love people.
She does, guys.
I really do that. I think I do love people at my core, and in reality most of the time.
Yeah.
But I think the difference was how I showed that love. And also, I was not a giver before the relationship.
A giver in what sense?
Giver of things, even physically.
Okay.
You were a giver. You've always been a giver in the relationship. Friend, you give things, like even in your room 32. Mine was 32, ne? Yours was 29.
I don't even remember.
Or something like that. Yeah, the third floor. You would give stuff. Like, you'd give your time to people. You braid people's hair all the time. You'd give them shoes. You would give away things. Like, friend, you were a giver.
Yeah.
You would give money.
Yeah.
You'd give your space.
Sure.
You were a giver. That was the difference. Me, what must I give you? Like, I really was, like, I was very, like, reluctant in giving. Like, my giving, I was not a giver. Like, I was very reluctant in giving. And I think you taught me that love gives.
Yeah.
And that you cannot love without giving.
Yeah.
And I've learned that in the relationship. That now I can buy a gift. I can spoil someone. I can give something.
She's the best gifter, guys.
But I was never like this. Like, I learned it in the relationship because you were a giver in the relationship.
I can see that.
And then how do we navigate distance?
Yeah.
You are based in Limpopo.
Yeah.
I'm based in Gauteng. I mean, we already started navigating distance from Grahamstown.
Yeah.
By virtue of you and Diggs, I was in Res, rules and regulations for the two.
Yeah.
But in that one, obviously, we did mention that we struggled a bit.
Yeah, we did.
It did make the friendship not as strong. We didn't have as much time to catch up together. And then you also form, in your day-to-day routine, you form friends. That's sometimes natural. In your day-to-day routine of like, I'm in the joint school, I spent 15 hours there, you are down campus, you spend so much time there, type of situation. But how do you navigate distance? What do you think is the thing that makes our friendship survive the distance?
I'd say that it was, like you're saying, it was great for roads.
Yeah.
Because we saw how it was to have close proximity in the first year of our friendship. We saw how difficult it was following that. We're in the same town, but didn't have enough time. And I think we both didn't like how the strain it put on our friendship. And then you left, and then I remained in Grantham. For me, I think in our friendship, that was the most difficult.
Really?
Yeah, I think that was the most difficult time. I think we survived friendship distance with a lot of effort.
Okay.
I think calls and texts, keeping in touch, communication, keeping in touch was very important. And I think, to be honest, I think you introduced us going on vacations. Yeah, and I think that has been the best element of our friendship, because it gives us an opportunity to spend time together
with less distraction.
Yes. Like now, like we really don't have social media.
We don't have network.
Which actually I'm happy about,
because I am I'm guilty in the friendship of always being on my phone, even when I shouldn't, because I'm very like addicted to social.
But you're present nonetheless.
But I still shouldn't be.
You shouldn't be. Yeah, but it's creating those spaces and the time to actually speak to each other and be intentional that, okay, it's been a week and we haven't spoken. Just being mindful that I'm not gonna allow a week to pass, because we were once in that place where we would not speak for like a long time,
and I'm like, hey friend. And for me, you know what I got tired of is filling you up.
It's like, now I have to update you.
I'm like, where do I start? So actually this year, from last year to this year, I think we almost speak on a daily basis. Like every day.
I don't think we passed 3 days without speaking.
No, and we call for long.
Yeah.
And we speak a lot more now. And I think for me, it's because I got tired of filling you in gaps, and I don't know where to start or where I left off.
Where you left off.
And the other things. So I think even the distance, but also not distance physically, but also distance in terms of life and work, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes I travel.
Yeah.
I don't have network because I'm not in the country, so I only have WhatsApp means, right? Which we can still video call, we can still phone call and stuff like that.
I mean, I think, because I can see sometimes maybe when we have calls and I can pick up when you're not there.
And you're so quick to call me out. You're like, Frank, what are you doing? Because
I don't know.
Yes, because sometimes, and especially now that I'm working from home, there's 3 months I've been working from home, and I'm like sometimes working, and then like an email comes in and I'm trying to sort it, and we're on the phone. We've been maybe on the phone for an hour, and then I just said, okay.
So
and you pick it up.
So basically, my work is not as busy as MK, ne? Like on a practical level. That's just the foundational truth of it, right? So when we are on a call and I realize, so first of all, I'm mindful of when we are talking.
Yes.
And it happens so subconsciously because I'm like, that's the truth of our reality. If we're speaking during the day, I'm mindful that although we're both working from home, my job is much more flexible than you. I can have a week without meetings, I'm just working on reading and writing. As long as if the due date is the 10th, I submit on the 10th, So, but I know that we can be on a call and you can get like something urgent on an email, right? Fine, I'll be deep in that conversation and I will realize when your attention shifts.
And even if it's not even a video call, even if it's a phone
call, I will know. I will pick it up when you've moved your attention, because you don't know how to move attention.
And you know what? For some weird reason, I think I'm very good at multitasking, but I don't think.
Not the girl, guys. Not the girl. No.
I really think in my head, like Fred, in my head, I'm convinced I'm very good at multitasking, but everyday life keeps proving I'm not.
Yeah, but you still believe you are.
I really do. Like, I think I can open 15 million tabs and be on a phone call and be cooking.
But you know, I think to that point, when I realized then that you have work to attend to, we will somehow find a way to shorten the call.
Yeah.
But it won't be a thing of, oh my gosh, I was so deep in that conversation and she had to leave. Because I understand that you have to work, you know? And sometimes we position it in such a way that when it's your freer time, or you say, oh friend, I know you're not in the country. I know you're gonna go back to your room. Maybe we can talk while you do something. Like you can be like.
But also, even when you travel, you know what? Like, I actually was on your boyfriend's side when he was giving it to you.
Yeah.
No, before we came here, when you were in Free State for the conference.
Yeah.
Friend, when you travel, maybe because like I'm always traveling, so for me, I've had to build a lifestyle of managing relationships plus
travel.
You don't.
I don't.
You don't. Like, even friend, when you're supposed to tell me that you're coming, you don't say good morning. You don't. You don't even tell me when you left. You told me when you're like almost
there.
Yeah. Like, so you are not very.
I told you on the way.
Exactly.
I was like, actually, I'm going to. Okay. And you know what the thing is?
You're not good.
You know what the issue is?
Yeah.
I am one person where if I'm sitting with someone, I will not reach for my phone.
Yes,
that has been a problem, and it's so big. Like for instance, if I'm driving with my boss, with Hendrik, right?
Yeah.
It's the two of us in the car, right?
Yeah.
He's driving. I feel so bad just taking my phone and saying, okay, I'm texting, because I feel like I'm not paying attention. Like, I feel like I'm being rude.
Okay.
You know?
And I'm the opposite. I'm so used to, because I use my phone for work. I use my phone for everything. I'm so used to constantly.
I'm sure
they don't. I also
but for me in my head, I'm like taking out my phone. Like when we are on a table for dinner after like a conference or a meeting, and people are just talking, having random conversations. I feel like being on my phone is just rude.
Really?
And I will just not do that. And it seems I have to work very hard on it.
Okay. How do we balance time with boyfriends, family, and still feeling like we give each other time? You know, new relationship that's very serious.
Yes, it is.
It is. And how do you think it's like important to say, like, if I say, oh friend, I'm on a friend with my boyfriend, call him my boyfriend, and when you say, oh friend, I'm on a call, or let me attend to my boyfriend,
or have to hang you up and take
a call, because that happens a lot, that we do that both sides. How do you think, how does that make you feel? If I say, friend, let me drop the call, I need to attend, or when, okay, I'll tell you how it makes you feel, you tell me how it makes you feel.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you first.
Ice.
It's hot now. I think I understand.
Okay.
For me, I think I understand. Because safety, like, I know you won't take it anyhow unless I then no longer prioritize you as my friend, right? So yes, it's still the beginning and we're still to grow and see how it's gonna pan out as time goes. But I think at the present moment, I don't feel like I'm therefore in competition with your boyfriend, because I know that it's different relationships.
We serve different needs.
And I desire for you.
First,
no.
In daughter, God first. In daughter first.
Yeah. No, guys. So wait. So I feel like in those moments, I know I desire you to have a good relationship. I desire you to get married, to have children. So I envision us having a life together in that space, in an adult space. And what that looks like is that you're gonna have your husband, you're gonna have your children, and I'm not gonna be in a place to wanna feel like I'm in competition with your
family.
Like
it's practice round. Yeah, I think it's also important. I think it is very important. Like, friend, you know me, I believe in daughter, and in daughter first, God first, in daughter first. Yeah. So like I like. The other day, I think we're here, right? We're here. No, we're in my place before we came. And I think we were washing our faces or something, and then your man called. I was like, "You answer that video call."
Yeah. No, she was. She was like,
"You will answer it." Yeah, because you know what? I think also it's that thing of feeling free and trying to create an environment where people feel free.
Yes.
Because I think in adult friendships, when we're growing up, our pie becomes bigger.
It does.
And we need to learn how to share.
Yeah.
And something that I've not learned. I mean, I have siblings. I've shared with my siblings.
Yeah.
But in adult friendships, we need to start learning how to share. And the more we realize that we need to share time, we need to share people's emotional capacity, it becomes easier because I don't feel like you're neglecting me. I just understand that the pie is now bigger. You have work, family, relationships, this, community, you have this side hustle, you have this. So I need to understand that concept that life is not, you're not just alone anymore. And like, I mean, in Grahamstown, we're just alone, right? I mean, who had boyfriends in Grahamstown?
No one. None of us had a boyfriend in Grahamstown.
I almost did. Yes, friend. Like, the reason why I stopped having boyfriends was because I had one boyfriend in Grahamstown that made me never had boyfriends.
Oh yes,
yes, I did.
I almost said RIP.
Yes,
but
almost killed him.
Like,
because that was the only relationship, and I stopped from there because it was traumatic. But I think because of that concept of life is moving,
being free at the
time. So we think now you have access, and particularly if your relation, it's different if you meet in your adult life because you're already busy. So your capacity and your giving is at that level. It's already rationed out. So for us, where it's changing now, it has changed with time, and it's difficult. But for some weird reason, I feel like it's more fulfilling, the relationship. Because I also feel like you don't expect me to feel needs which were not meant to be filled by me as your friend. Because you are getting it from places where you should be getting them from.
Facts.
So I think it makes the relationship even more fruitful, even more happier, because we understand the concept of we are complex human beings. The pie is now bigger. We have more responsibility. We have many other ships that we need to be handling at the same time. And if you are happier in your family space, if you're happier in your relationship, if you're happier in your career, you'll be happier. You
come back happier
in this friendship. So there's not much baggage, and there's not, you don't expect me to feel areas that I'm not even meant to feel in your life. And therefore, even when you say you want to take space, I'm like, space for what?
Because already
I also don't believe in taking space, guys. Like, I believe in communicating what you're going through, right? I believe in saying, look, friend, in this season of my life, I'm going through a tough time. And I think we've learned
this. And be clear about it.
Remember the other day, I was going through the problems, and then I said, friend, I can't talk right now. We'll talk tomorrow. Like, I said, I'm not okay, but I can't talk, we'll talk tomorrow. Because I don't even want you to ask me what's going on.
That's not what she needed at
the time, you understand? But that's the space. But in me asking for that space, I mean, it was an hour, a few hours. But I communicate. I'm not saying indefinitely, because I think sometimes the problem is people feel like we leave them in the loop. We don't know. We leave them in the dark. We don't know. When you're asking a friend, can I have space? We don't know how long.
What does that mean? How long?
What does it look like? Exactly. So coming saying, I am not okay. This is like, you don't even have to give high level, like deep explanation.
And I think you said that, and hours passed, right? Did I come back the same day? Later in the evening or the next day?
I think same day.
Same day. But when I came back, I wasn't like, what's wrong?
It was just we talked about something else actually.
And
then eventually I got like the courage to bring what was bothering me, and then we spoke about it.
And you didn't feel pressure to, like, she's expecting me to open up. I told her I'm not.
And also there was no awkwardness in us, because we can, like, you can, in friendship, you can have 5 million conversations at the same time. We can talk about random things.
Especially over here, guys.
Like, we'll talk about random. Same day, we'll be talking about 5 million different topics. So 5 different areas of our lives. So I think, for me, that's the conclusion of saying friendships work if you put in the work. I think, for me, this has been one of the most fulfilling or rewarding relationships in my life. It has grown me so much. It has grown me was my relationship with God, my relationship with people. Guys, now I give grace.
Guys, now I have boundaries.
Exactly. You see, it's always, for me, I feel like that's important, that we can come back years later to say, now I have this, which I didn't have, that we've learned and picked up in the friendship.
And poured into each other.
Yeah, so I really feel like that. I really feel like the friendship has grown me. We've also built community. Our families know each other. We support each other. It's grown so much in that it's fulfilling. There are years I don't see myself doing life without you.
Don't, guys. If you never see me on this channel, just know it's her. Like, it's not me.
I honestly do not see myself doing life without you. Like, how much you support starting this. You saw it from the beginning. You supported me so much. When I win an Oscar, I'll give you a shout out.
Please, I must be on the list. I'd like to thank my best friend.
Yeah, but like how much we support each other, how much we, and I think for me the value in the friendship is how much we, because you know what the other problem is, I hate friends who only tell you your problems and not share their good days with you. And I really love how there's that balance.
Like
there is. The good we share together, the bad we share together, and I think that's lovely. And I hope you guys have nice relationships in your lives and fulfilling.
May God bless you with those.
Yeah, and you know, it's something to pray for.
It is.
I remember speaking to someone actually this week. They were saying they're studying and they feel like they're losing friends because they keep saying to their friends that I'm busy, I'm studying. I'm like, guys, I've experienced that. Last year I was a student.
You were a student, you were working.
Yeah, I was traveling. It was a lot. But I feel like you gave me grace. You really did. Like, you really gave me grace. And I think I managed to finish because you did support me and you were there for me. You would support me. The same when you were studying.
When I was going through
a lot. Even when you remained in Grahamstown, you were studying and I was not studying.
You provided the support.
We need to like understand. I think it's understand that seasons change. It won't be that way. Like, and I think for us, people in friendships think friendships should look the same, and that's why we're so quick to give up on friendships.
Because now we don't embrace change in friendships.
But we do in other relationships. We go into marriages. We go into relationships, romantic relationships, knowing that there are seasons. There will be like high seasons, there will be low seasons. But so shall it be even in friendships, you know? And I think learning for us that there are seasons, but also seasons change and they pass.
And even then, they can be different. Even navigating different seasons, because a season of flourishing for one person, or wellness or health for one person, can be different for you. Just seeing how we navigate the different seasons of our lives and how they manifest with each time.
I think that's very important. So don't be so quick. For me, I think don't be so quick to give up on friendships. There's value in friendships. The Bible says 2 is better than 1.
Always.
And I know the next part it says because we keep each other warm at night. But if you don't have someone to keep each other warm at night, 2 is still better than 1. 2 is the point. The point is, let's take verse 1a, not the B.
Forget the B.
The B we'll discuss the other week. But now let's focus on 2 is better than 1.
A friend loveth at all times.
Yeah, exactly. Like we, and I think I always say we thrive when we are loved. We thrive when we're loved, and I think even in seasons where you might not have a romantic relationship, for me, it's being in good friendships makes you thrive. You don't even see the gaps. Obviously, there are tangible gaps because that's the nature of life. But in overall, when we are loved right, we thrive. When you have supportive community, you thrive. Burnout is less when you have community because you have a place to come find rest and release and take time out and take off the facade, take off the mask, and just relax and be yourself. But also there's so much growth in friendships. I think we almost I'm actually surprised that
we never thought about this. We've never spoken about 10 years.
I think we need to do a proper international
holiday.
We do need
an international one.
Yeah, to celebrate our 10th anniversary of our friendship.
Guys, that's so sweet.
It will be very sweet. But yeah, guys, so thank you so much for watching this episode. It's now time for us to leave and go have some fun time together.
Yes, gonna have some braai
for two in the bushes. But yeah, so I think thank you so much guys for watching. Do like, comment, subscribe and share. And I think I really wish you healthy friendships. I really do. I think I really feel like something we can pray about. I believe in praying about everything,
every single thing.
Pray for God to give you a community that is healthy,
to
give you friends that will stay the course with you,
and pray to be the friend that
I think that's an even more important prayer, to be the friend who can stay the course, and not be a friend that's so quick to leave. I am prone to be
not anymore, but
be the friend to be able to stay the course. Pray for a healthier community around your life. I think that's more enriching. It's fulfilling, and have a lovely day. We always say in this channel, the conversation does not end between the two of us. You take it and go share with your friends. Also, I think you know how couples reflect on their marriage. I think this was a good reflection time for us. Because we didn't rehearse this.
We didn't even know what we were gonna talk about.
It was just a one-time shot. But I think it's take this conversation, obviously that's an end between the two of us. You take it and maybe share with your friend and watch it together and reflect on your friendships. What can you do better?
Ask the questions that MK was asking, and have that conversation together. How am I in different seasons? What kind of friend have I been to you?
Until next time, bye. Thank you guys so much for watching. Click the like, subscribe, share button. Which one?
The one there, the corner.
Yes, the one at the corner. I don't know which corner because we don't know which side we're
facing.
Probably here.